Well, I actually don't deserve that much buzz today, and I'll tell you why. Because of my own thespian career, that's thespian career, there are two movies that I will not have seen until next week that open this week. But I will tell you about them, and I will tell you about the other two that I have seen. Is that fair? Okay. Let me just be honest with you. The two that I haven't seen are The Twilight Saga, Breaking Dawn. This is the expectant parents, Edward and Bella, whose unborn child poses different threats to the wolf pack and vampire coven. If this whole description makes you throw up, then you were you were probably above the age of 15 and couldn't care less about the Twilight Saga. I have to tell you that I actually have seen these, and they're not bad movies. I was really kind of pleasantly surprised. I haven't seen this one, not because I was boycotting it, because they only did it for one night, and I had a conflict. I had theater, and given a choice between a $10 movie and a $150 theater, I decided I could probably afford to pay for the movie easier than the theater. Call me silly. All right, the other one that I'm seeing tomorrow is Happy Feet 2, which is Mumble's son Eric is struggling to realize his talents in the Emperor Penguin world. Meanwhile, Mumble and his family and friends discover a new threat to their home, when they will take everyone working together to save them. Okay? Happy Feet, the first one, worked fairly well. Believe it or not, I think Happy Feet will probably give Twilight a run for its money. And we have two other movies, both of which are pretty good and pretty substantial, that probably will not top the charts, but will take... they probably are not going to take away from either of those. I think those two are going to be the major contenders. And Happy Feet 2 may win just because it's in 3D, and I think it's a slightly shorter movie. Do I know how long this is? You get to hear Elijah Wood, who plays Eric, so that's fun. Robin Williams is in it, okay, as opposed to Twilight, which is Kristen Stewart, Robert Pattinson, Taylor Lautner, Dakota Fanning, okay. All right, so the other two movies that I have seen are George Clooney, Descendants. The Descendants, a lot of people are talking about him for an Oscar for this one. Also, Another Happy Day, which has got a terrific cast. It's got Ellen Burstyn and Ellen Barkin in it, who play mother and daughter and look surprisingly alike. Ellen Barkin has two sons, one played by the terrific actor Ezra Miller, who is also, and we have to talk about Kevin, or we need to talk about Kevin. The question is, can he play anything other than a miserable teenager? But he is gorgeous and a terrific actor, so it should be fun. Daniel Yeltsky, who's also wonderful. They're on the way to Mom and Dad's house for a wedding. It turns out that Ellen the Younger was married to Paul, who's played by the terrific Thomas Hayden Church, who's remarried to Patty, played by no less than Demi Moore. Yay! Who actually looks terrific in this. So we've got George Kennedy as the dad. This is actually a pretty good drama. It's called Another Happy Day. The only problem about the movie is a great cast, some really good performances. The problem is that there's really nobody in this cast to really like. It's tough to watch a movie for 2 hours with nobody that you really like there. But having said that, and I would pare it down a little bit. It's directed by Sam Raimi, who's is it Sam Raimi? I know it's his dad. Is the Barry Levinson. It's Sam Levinson, who's Barry Levinson's kid, and he's a first-time director and writer. As you know, I'm not a great fan of first-time directors and writers. I just think you need a little bit more perspective than that, and this one really could have used a little bit of paring down. But, and again, no likable characters, a problem. Descendants, a similar kind of problem. George Clooney, it's got Beau Bridges in it, Robert Forster, Judy Greer. It's a story of a very wealthy Hawaiian man who's going through several crises in his life simultaneously. He has an 11-year-old daughter who's acting out, a 17-year-old daughter who's got a drug problem on the Big Island and is in rehab, and then his wife is in a coma, and it turns out that his beloved wife, who he is mourning, may have been having an affair. And he owns a huge amount of property in Hawaii, and he's trying to decide whether or not to sell it, and he's the one who gets to determine for the whole family whether it's sold or not. They're talking about nominating Clooney for an Oscar here. I mean, it's really, it's kind of a downbeat movie. It's complicated and it's rich, and it's nice to see George Clooney playing something with a little more gravitas. But it's just, I mean, I like the Ides of March better, to be quite honest. and that he was much more fun in that. This one is a lot less fun to be at, but I mean, he's a good actor. It's a great cast. It's an interesting story. I wouldn't give it any more than 3 stars, and I gave that's what I gave Another Happy Day as well. So both of them are adult movies for adults. Will probably be around in award season, as opposed to Two Happy Feet, or Happy Feet 2 rather, or Two Happy Feet, or Twilight Saga. Neither of which will be around in award season, but both of them will probably make a lot more money than either of these two. For more details, go to drjoy.com or drjoyreviews.com, and I promise I'll catch up on the other two and review them for you next week, all right? 800-544-7070. I'm Dr. Joy Browne.